That's a siren. There's an ambulance down in the street. Shut the window, pull the curtain, the lights are blinding. I can't hear with the children crying. I can't think with the anger flying. I can't breathe with my mentors dying. And oh, I am searching for sanctuary. Will you shelter me? Will you shelter me? I am searching for sanctuary. Will you shelter me? Will you shelter me? I am writing your name in the air. Can you see me? Can you see me? I am searching for sanctuary. Will you shelter me? Will you shelter me? Hi. Shabbat Shalom. We're just doing sound checks. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good. Just doing some sound checks. Oh, wow.
Actually, he died on this date.
Really? Wow.
So I made a special cake in honor of his favorite cake.
What kind of what was his favorite?
A triple midnight chocolate cake. My father was a chocoholic and he loved my chocolate cake.
Oh, wow.
Although I don't know, the weather may limit the number of people coming to it.
I hope not.
Well, I hope not too.
Oh, I hope not. What would I be looking at?
Everybody home is okay? That's not a positive answer.
They're not well right now. They're kind of sick. They're sick. People are sick at home right now. Abigail and Zeb are sick. Or you mean Abigail and Ross?
There's a number of people in today's the reason I mentioned this. You live in a dead-end street. A dead-end street. A dead-end on a street on a school called Park Street. Sat with elevator and take a drive for a walk. Heard the music all the time. And now he's made himself in luck and books and very aggressive. Very aggressive. So whenever I see them, we walk the opposite way. They're simply, so we get fox, we have turkey, we have deer. One time a couple of years ago, there was a turkey walking down the middle of the street, two really big turkeys. You know, you're once in a while, as you get older, there are not many people coming around.
Just unmuted it to make sure you're getting levels and everything. Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Yeah, it's there. We're good. All right. Excellent. I just have to remember to turn it back on. So, all right. Give me a signal if I'm on. Shabbat Shalom.
We're on page 12 if you want to sing along while we're waiting for people to come from the pile up. But we're going to just sing 7 psalms which welcome Shabbat. We begin on page 12 with Come Let Us Sing Lechu Neranana. Lechu, Lechu, Lechu Neranana, Lechu לכו נרננה נריע לצור אישנו. לכו, לכו, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו, לכו, לכו נרננה נריע לצור אישנו. נקדמה פניו בתודה, בזמירות נריע לו, כי אל גדול אדוני, הוא מלך גדול על כל האלוהים. לכו, לכו, good. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו, לכו, לכו נרננה נריע לצור אישנו. Maybe a little, can we do a little Yismachu Hashamayim maybe on page 13? Oldie but goodie. Yismachu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismachu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismachu Hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yismachu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismachu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismachu Hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz. Yehiram hayam, Yehiram hayam, Yehiram hayam, umelo. 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 Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, Yismechu hashamayim, v'tagel haaretz.
Shabbat Shalom. It's wonderful to have that music to lift us up. I'm going to try that again. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
Good for you making a noise here in this sanctuary, and good for you coming here into this wonderful warm space to have this moment at the end of our week to celebrate another week. And those of you joining us online, welcome to you as well. I'm Rabbi Brent Gutmann, and I'm so delighted to be here with you with Cantor Susan Lewis-Friedman as we celebrate this service, Kabbalat Shabbat. Kabbalah really means to receive, and that's what we do. We receive this moment as something sacred and special. We open ourselves up to all of the wonder, all of the beauty that it contains, and we look for an opportunity to elevate our lives. And we do that here through community. Most of all, we're so delighted to have with you so many friends here, and we welcome our friends Andrea and Don Griebner, who are going to help us with lighting our Shabbat candles to bring that light into our home and into our lives. Come on up here. We'll turn to page 2 in our prayer books as we rise for the blessing over candles. There you go. Bring that light into our lives.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're good. Take your time.
Baruch אתה אדוני, אלוהינו מלך העולם, אשר קידשנו במצוותיו וציוונו להדליק נר של שבת.
Amen. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen. Don Manry, we wish you so much strength and one Shabbat Shalom. So glad you're here with us tonight.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom.
You may be seated, my friends. Indeed, each Shabbat we're joined by friends. We're taught by the rabbis that not one but two angels accompany every Jewish person on the Shabbat, one to affirm any negative word they might say with the word amen, and one to affirm any positive word they might say with the word amen. So let's say a lot of blessings tonight. Let's get a lot of amens from that positive angel within us. We welcome the Sabbath with the words Lecha Dodi, page 20 in our prayer books.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'diborecha, ishmi'anu el hamiyuchad, Adonai echad u'shemo echad, l'shemu tiferet v'letila. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'necha, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikdem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava tchila. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat
Verse 5, we need to be
nekabela.
awoken with that light.
Hitoreri, hitoreri, diva orech kumi uri, 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 shir daberi, kevod Adonai alayich liglat. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat
Rise, we face the rear to welcome
nekabela.
those angels into our midst here as we welcome the Shabbat.
בואי בשלום העטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה. lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. One more time. Lecha dodi, lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela.
celebrate this moment with special prayers, special melodies, special songs, and we're going to add one of those in this moment. On page 22, a psalm for Shabbat praying, we are so grateful. How great are all your works, Adonai, and how deep are your thoughts, your conceptions within the world. Page 22.
Another nice and oldie but goodie by Unknown.
Unknown, is that right?
It says it's Unknown.
Unknown is the most famous composer out there, isn't it?
I think Unknown is the most famous. If only my stuff would be called Unknown and published, I'd be so thrilled. Right? Here we go. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, באמונתך בלילות, עלי אסור ועלי דבר, עלי היגיון וחידון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך הרנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. Last few lines, the indented paragraph, Tzadik Katamar, to get us all ready for Tu B'Shvat. Tzadik Katamar yifrach, yifrach, Tzadik Katamar yifrach, Tzadik Katamar yifrach, yifrach, Tzadik Katamar yifrach. Ka'eres balvanon yizke, Ka'eres balvanon yizke, Ka'eres balvanon yizke, yizke. Ka'eres balvanon yizke, Ka'eres balvanon yizke, Ka'eres balvanon yizke, yizke.
Continue on page 26 with our bridging prayer, the Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה,
Amen.
ועל מה דברך ירוטב ימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, וחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה, בעגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו,
Amen.
יהי שמי רבה
מבורך, ועולם מולו בהמיה, יתברך.
יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה
בריחו.
לעילה מן כל בחטא ושירתה.
Kush v'chata v'nechemata Yamiran be'alma v'imeru Amen. We continue with the call to worship, the Baruch Hu, page 28.
La 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 la.
Blessing for the evening in the middle of page 30 together. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzebaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv aravim.
U'ma'avir yon u'me'vi layla ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
We continue with Ahavat Olam, God's prayer for everlasting love.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. Give it a try. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. אהבת עולם, try it once again, here we go. אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת. ואהבת תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת.
As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod
Malchuto leolam va'ed. You may be seated as we continue with Ve'ahavta, page 36.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
So it's been actually 2 weeks before this past Wednesday that I returned from Israel, and it's remarkable that since I've come back how much the mood has changed with this new ceasefire and this exchange of hostages. Everywhere in Israel there's symbols of the hostages, signs, posters, pictures of their faces, but more than that, you see them wearing on their clothing both symbols of the hostages and the Gaza Ring region with the anemone flower. It's bright red flower that blooms in the spring there, as well as sometimes as simple as a strip of masking tape that says the number of days that it's been since October 7th, 2023. And today is in fact 482 days. 482 days since that terrible attack by Hamas on Israel. And so too with the progression of the winter. I know Cantor mentioned that Tu B'Shvat's coming up. That's the official start of spring in Israel, and those anemone flowers will bloom. But just to note, this remarkable week, we've seen 7 hostages released. God willing, 3 more to be released tomorrow. 10 total, a full minyan, and we're taught that you need a minyan. You need a quorum of 10 people in order to be able to recite most of our prayers. I wish strength to everyone here that you made it in to be part of our minyan. You are one in a minyan being here tonight to help us recite our prayers, and when we can come together and when we can join hands and when we can celebrate, may that day come soon when all when all who sit in captivity are free. We continue with our prayer for redemption. Micha Mocha, page 40 in our prayer books.
La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nadar v'kodesh. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nadar v'kodesh. Nora osem. Nora osem. Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Malchutecha u'vadecha bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam. Ze Elianu ve'amru, Ze Elianu ve'amru, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. Everybody sing it with me, nice and loud. Here we go. La 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 la. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Sing the song of men and women joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles in earth protected and cherished. A gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content. Her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed. The song of peace. We continue with our prayer for protection and comfort, asking God to spread a shelter of peace over all of us. Hashkivenu, page 42.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Leshalom Ve'ha'amideinu Shomerei Sukkot Shlomo
us a place to rest, Adonai our God. Bring us into shelter in the soft, long evening shadows of your truth. For with you are true protection and safety, and in your presence are acceptance and gentle love. Watch over us as we go forth. Prepare for us as we return. Spread over us your shelter of peace, over all we love, over our Jerusalem and yours.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom aleinu, ve'al kol amo Yisrael, ve'al Yerushalayim.
The Shabbat, the top of page 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל
את השבת, לעשות
את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
In just a moment, we'll be entering into the tefillah, or the Amidah, the core prayer of the evening service. We'll be praying together from page 46 all the way to page 52. From that point, everyone's free to complete the Amidah as you'd like. The section's fairly long. It goes through page 63, and you can use either the Hebrew or the English or the words of our own heart. Our tradition teaches us work just as well, in fact, better if they're said with kavanah, with intention. It is also the standing prayers known. So we're going to stand on up as we continue, as mentioned, page 46. When you finish your prayer, feel free to have a seat and continue with some quiet meditation.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu ve'imoteinu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Ha'Norah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekoneh HaKol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות,
ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך חוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונעמה נתן החיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. 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 Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Shalom
few prayers more essential to us than prayers for our health, because there is little in life that is working well if we don't have our health. And so at this moment in our service, we create one prayer for healing, bringing into our thoughts, into our consciousness, trying to imagine and see before us all of those individuals within our circles of concern and need of healing, as we create one great prayer in the hope that we can bring that healing that is so much needed to our world. This Shabbat, we include in our prayer for healing the following individuals: Judy Block, Arlene Braun, Lana Briner, Heidi Preskar, Sue Chase and Donna Zuba, Kimberly Del Dego, David Froman, Selena Gard, Donald Hammer, Mara Hassan, Eric Robert Coonan, Charles Mueller, Kim Murphy, Joanne Robb, Robert S. Reisman, Charlene Ross, Brandon Ryan, Cheryl Gigi Spire, and Joe Tufts, Tammy Van Way, Mark Yablin, Kaya Fura Bat Miriam, Lavi Ben Louise Kimchi, Malka Bat Vanakaya, Pinchas Ben Malka, Rosh Goshena Bat Miriam, Reuven Ben Shirley Gabrielle, Sarah Esther Bat Malka, and Zenaida Bat Diana. And if there are others that you are thinking of whose names I have not yet mentioned, I welcome you to add them at this time. So we continue with the words of the Misha Berach, the Cholim, the prayer for healing found in the back inside cover of your Mishkan Tefillah, for all those mentioned and the many more that go unmentioned, for healing.
Misha Berach Avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Misha Berach Imoteinu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer,
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 hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May the pain and loneliness we're feeling be diminished by the power of your love. Misha Berach Avoteinu, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Misha Berach Imoteinu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, Rachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer,
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 hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
218 years ago, Napoleon Bonaparte called a council of prominent Jewish leaders and rabbis as he considered whether to grant Jewish citizenship to the newly constituted French Empire's Jewish population. For this assembly, he revived a name the great Sanhedrin, hearkening back to the once Supreme Court of the rabbis in biblical and Talmudic times. And to them, he presented a series of questions testing the limits of Jewish cultural norms. Among these questions, does Jewish law permit a Jew to marry a Christian, or may they marry only other Jews? In the eyes of Jews, are Frenchmen who are not Jewish considered to be their brethren or strangers? And finally, do the Jews who were born in France truly acknowledge France and not Jerusalem as their country? Are they bound to defend it, follow its laws, to follow the directions of the civil and court authorities of France? To all these questions, the rabbis wisely answered within the limits of Jewish law, answers that were acceptable to Napoleon. In doing so, these rabbis were able to usher in an era of Jewish liberation and enlightenment. The Haskalah, as it's called, where Jews would finally be afforded the same rights of citizenship, of home and country, of property, and to participate in whatever professions that they'd like that were afforded to Christians. The Haskalah began with Napoleon, but it did not end with his defeat at Waterloo. It spread steadily and slowly as more and more Jews began demanding the same rights that their neighbors possessed in other territories. Far off and years later, Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, the great-grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, who had founded Hasidic Judaism, he warned about the Haskalah, the Enlightenment, and its adherents, the Maskilim, as an imminent danger. Much like how the people of Anatevka responded to Perchik, the revolutionary student and tutor and fiddler on the roof who marries Tevia's daughter, Hodel, Rabbi Nachman was scared of the outside influences coming from this enlightenment, that they might disrupt life in the shtetl. In a fiery sermon before his disciples on this very Shabbat many years ago, he intoned the first words of this week's portion. Bo el Paro, go to Pharaoh, plead with him, let my people go, and suggested that they contain a deep secret. Rabbi Nachman, he explained that the text could have used many words. Could have said, Omer, say, or Medaber, speak to Pharaoh, or Magid, tell Pharaoh. But it instead says, Bo, go to Pharaoh. Why this word bo? The rabbi explains that as we seek to redeem and repair the broken pieces of our world, we must be willing to encounter not only those that we agree with, those whom we share community with, but also those of whom we see ourselves as separate from, or even opposed to. Over these first 2 weeks of President Donald Trump's second term, we've witnessed a flurry of executive orders which have tested the limits of his authority to singularly reshape our government. So too in Israel. Trump has had an effect. He's now being called Prime Minister Donald Trump, for whatever that's worth. While little has been done in Israel to advance proposals for a ceasefire or post-war reconstruction from within the country, the present ceasefire in exchange for the release of hostages has been viewed by Israelis very much a result of Trump's influence. And even as he expresses expectations that are occasionally contradictory, for example, occasionally might be an understatement. For example, that he expects Gazans to return to the north of Gaza as outlined in the current ceasefire, and at the same time, the expectation that they vacate Gaza to Egypt, with the not so subtle threat of withholding aid to Egypt should they refuse to take them in. And it's all very concerning and confusing, and at the same time fascinating to see how the sources of resistance emerge as he tests these limits of his power on subjects such as immigration policy and the trans community, as well as government spending, Senate consent and approval over questionably qualified cabinet secretary figures, and so much more. Just like Pharaoh, Trump seems to view his authority as absolute. And so it will be telling who is brave enough to dare oppose him. In this sense, it still seems remarkable that the most significant moment of resistance Trump encountered over the course of these past 2 weeks did not come from a politician, a judge, or a foreign leader, but from a religious leader, from Bishop Marion Budd of the Episcopal Church in Washington. Like so many of us, I was fascinated by this story and to hear the bishop's words. Far from rude or ungracious or nasty or uninspiring or unimpactful, as Trump has alleged, his lashing out on social media suggests just the opposite, that Bishop Buddy's messaging was impactful, at least by that classic measure of a good sermon as being one that comforts the afflicted and afflicts the comfortable. By that measure, her words certainly did succeed. What were they? Referencing Trump's own statement that he was saved by God from assassination, the Bishop Buddy said, "You felt the providential hand of a loving God. In the name of our God, I ask you to have mercy upon the people in our country who are scared now." And she continued to plead with Trump to have mercy for the gay, lesbian, and transgender children across the country who fear for their lives and for their community. She asked him to show mercy on immigrants who may not have the proper documentation, saying the vast majority of them, though, were not criminals, but rather good neighbors. Sadly, powerful as her message seems to have been in that it caused Trump to react, seems not to have made an impact on how he has been leading. There's been no change of course. President Trump, who has established his entire political career on the false allegation that the vast number of immigrants in our country are criminals, as well as the false allegation that malicious forces of the political left are seeking to harm children, false allegations that Jews who do not support him are somehow unpatriotic or disloyal. By now, his heart appears much too hard. Yet here in Torah, the message, Bo el Paro, means that even if we are unlikely to change the mind of those in power, we must try and try again, persistently. We must try to change their minds and their hearts. How do we do this? How do we change their minds? How do we touch their hearts? Here it gets really interesting because according to Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, to come to Pharaoh, Bo el Paro, means not only to offer resistance and to appeal to the emotion of the one whom we oppose, but to seek relationships with them. In this light, I had an exchange with a colleague this week. We spoke about Israel and the need to bring more of our people, more from our community, to visit Israel, to bear witness to what Israelis have been through on and since October 7th, 2023, especially now. And as we spoke about this, I was surprised. This colleague said, well, we're not going to be able to convince those that are critical of Israel to go. There was something that rose up inside of me. Instantly, I pushed back. Because in my mind, one of the saddest things that's happened in recent years in our religious communities has been a decoupling of differences. More and more as we become acculturated to monotone social media environments where we occupy bubbles of those who share our identities, our interests, our political opinions, we become averse to sharing spaces with those who differ from us in the real world. If this trend continues, I fear it will be disastrous for us. The scholar and professor Jonathan Haidt writes about attunement and synchronistic communication, a phenomenon whereby humans learn to regulate their emotions through taking turns and through sharing in a moment synchronistically at the same time. He writes, children can only learn how to not get hurt in situations where it is possible to get hurt, such as wrestling with a friend, having a pretend sword fight, or negotiating with another child to enjoy a seesaw when a failed negotiation can lead to pain in one's posterior as well as embarrassment. Without taking risks in our social encounters, we lose the opportunity to learn the rules of social interaction. We lose a bit of our humanity and the chance to build stronger relationships and connections wherein all may prosper. Rabbi Edwin Friedman famously declared, "You cannot change a relationship that you are not a part of." And thus we must understand Bo el Paro to mean not only speak your demands to Pharaoh, but attempt to understand his perspective. Engage him in discussion and healthy debate. Attempt to create a relationship. As I've shared before, Reverend Bill Barber would teach, when someone does something upsetting to you, don't call them out, call them in. Call upon the person. Leverage the relationship that you have. Try to find a language that they can hear. Don't be afraid of differences. Don't shy away from communities which enforce conformity. Instead of trying to build bridges to people like yourself, seek bridges of difference and seek the understanding of those with whom you disagree. As the conflict between the opposing sides within our society grows more stark, let us be examples who maintain our relationships with those unlike ourselves. Let us disengage from arguments intended to goad on social media as we engage in relationships more in the real world. If we wish to truly persuade each other to embrace the attitude of liberty, we must be willing to enter the space that each other occupy and explain to those with whom we disagree the truths that we have witnessed while allowing ourselves to receive the light that they also possess. A non-Jewish philosopher, John Stuart Mill, famous for his treatises on utilitarianism, wrote in a seminal essay on liberty, "He who knows only his own side of a case knows little of that. His reasons may be good, and no one may have been able to refute them, but if he is equally unable to refute the reasons of the opposite side, if he does not so much as know what they are, he has no ground for preferring either opinion." The same could be said of the message in this week's Torah portion. Bo el Paro. Be brave. Approach those with whom you disagree. Seek a conversation. Seek an understanding. And stand by their side, not because you see yourselves in them, but precisely the opposite. Because you don't. Because they're something different from you. Because they're other from you. Because they're distinct from you and therefore worthy of protection. Because they are, in their own human beingness, also created in God's image. May this be God's will. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Friends, it's all of our responsibility to play a role in the redemption of our world. It's all of our responsibility to ensure that whichever space we occupy in this world, that we find ways to give praise, to give acknowledgement, and to give thanks to God who has made us one community. We welcome to help us with opening our Ark for the Elenu, our friend Patty Abels. Come on up. Patty, who's here, saying Kaddish for her mom. May her memory be a blessing. We rise, page 282 in our prayer books.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Service supplements or the third line from the bottom on 284.
לתקן עולם במלכות שדי. Together we can heal the world. לתקן עולם במלכות שדי. We must all work together, because we are all the children of Adonai. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא, יהיה אדוני אחד. ושמו, ושמו, ושמו We must all work together, because we are all the children of Adonai.
God bless you. You may be seated. In nature's ebb and flow, God's eternal law abides. When tears dim our vision and grief clouds our understanding, we often lose sight of God's eternal plan. Yet we know that growth and decay, life and death all reveal a divine purpose. God, who is our support in the struggles of life, is also our hope in death. We've set God before us and shall not despair. In God's hands are the souls of all the living and the spirits of all flesh. Under God's protection we abide, and by God's love we are comforted. O life of our life, soul of our soul, cause your light to shine into our hearts and fill our spirits with abiding trust in you. We think now of all those who once were members of this congregation, friends and family of members of this congregation, all those who gave their lives for the sanctification of God's name and of our people whose graves are unmarked, as well as those of every race and nation who lived their lives so as to be a blessing to humanity. We think of them now as we meditate on the meaning of love and loss of life and death. They are our eternal blessing. We welcome you, if you would like, if you hear the name of one of your own ancestors read here as we prepare for the mourner's Kaddish, to stand as we recognize you among the congregation. And we'll also leave a moment at the end that if I've left out any names of those whom are being thought of for Kaddish tonight, that you can share them here, either in our sanctuary or from the comfort and privacy of your own home. This week, although the funerals have not yet occurred, we are aware of the passing of our friends, Miriam Heyman Brown, whose funeral will be on Sunday, as well as Bernard Blum, whose funeral will also be this coming week. And we
we send our condolences to them as their families surely are seeking comfort now. So too this week is the Shiva week for our friend Esther Mitnick Brownstein, and we give our condolences to her and her family, just as we continue to remember those taken in this past month. They include Cynthia Lee Benderson, Dan Fox, and Lawrence Itzkowitz, and we continue to extend our thoughts, our condolences, our prayers of comfort to them and their families, that their memory shall always be for a blessing. This week also marks the anniversary of the following individuals' passing: Esther Holowin Abels, Meyer Benheim, Rose B. Bilski, Jerry Blank, Maurice Blinkoff, Samuel Block Jr., Dr. Robert Blum, Donald Cohen, Marjorie Christall, Marlene Zubin DeCarlo, Clara Goodman DeZoritz, Robert Ellis, Harry N. Foxstein, Beatrice Feldman, Samuel H. Feller, Ruth Goldwater Fernandez, Dr. Celia A. Friedman, Tammy G. Gardier de Priest, Leslie Grossman, Isidore E. Hyman, Donald W. Katz, Yetta G. Levy, Delia J. Nefak, Joseph J. Rizzuto, Louis G. Rogers, Clifford Lee Rogers, Rosella F. Rosen, Harold A. Rosenfield, Joseph Rosenthal, Mabel F. Rubens, Ruth Israel Schuler, Dr. Louis A. Siegel, Carolyn Singer, Hattie C. Sklarski, Jonathan D. Snitzer, Michael Stern, Norma Stern, Marvin J. Sull, Max Tagler, Francis Barlow Vogel, Edward Warner, Fannie Wells, Edna Cutler Wiener, Alfred D. Wiener, Eola Weiner, Nita F. Zisser, Alfred M. Zisser, and Dr. Sigmund P. Zobel. If there are others, again, you'd like to add, you're welcome to do so at this time. May all those mentioned and the many more that go unmentioned grow for their loved ones, for us, as a source of blessing and health, of peace and sustenance in our world, as we rise as one community in support and solidarity of all those in mourning, all those remembering their loved ones, to recite the words of Kaddish on page 294, according to our personal customs. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, Be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uvyomechon, u'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kari v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach leolam ulomei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal, shmei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, Tushbechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, b'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May God bring peace to all who mourn, comfort to all who are bereaved, as we say, amen. You may be seated as we welcome forward our trustee, Kathy Ellis, to share tonight's announcements with us.
Shabbat Shalom. Hello, I'm Kathy Ellis of the Board of Trustees of templebethzion. Thank you all for joining us tonight for our Shabbat service. And thank you, Errol Solve, who has provided a special cake for tonight's oneg in honor of the yahrzeit of his father, Marvin J. Solve. I just have a few announcements tonight, and they're also in the booklet that we have. Tomorrow morning, please join us for our bagel kiddush provided by Larry Rubin and Deborah Chernoff following Shabbat service. Join the conversation at Lunch and Learn with Rabbi Gutmann. Meet at Broder this coming Thursday, February 6th at noon, and bring your own lunch, and all are welcome. Join the TBZ Brotherhood for their wing tour Thursday, February 6th at 6 p.m. For more information or to RSVP, please contact Michael Adler. Next Friday is Shabbat Shirah. TBZ's adult choir and the community youth choir will welcome the special Shabbat with songs of celebration. February 7th, 7:15 p.m. here at 805 Delaware. And that's what I was about to say. Thank you, Amy. TBZ's Culinary Committee will provide a delicious oneg following the service. Enjoy a light dinner and family-friendly Seder celebrating Tu B'Shvat, the birthday of the trees, 6 p.m. on Wednesday, February 12th, here at 805 Delaware. We have a special guest speaker that night, Stephen Klein, Stephen Klein, CEO of Nechama, is that good? Jewish Response to Disaster. Please RSVP by February 4th. And save the date for our next Shabbat dinner, 6:15 on Friday, February 21st. If you're coming to the young family service at 5:30 or the regular service at 7:15, or both, which I've done, it's fun, you can share Shabbat dinner with your TBZ family. Please RSVP for the dinner so there'll be plenty for everyone. And you can check out everything else in the bulletin and at our website for any upcoming events, classes, and other exciting TBZ news. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. You know, announcements are always harder than they look. And if they do it well like Kathy does, then you know that they're really talented at it. So we're almost towards the end of our service. I want to just say a quick thank you to our audio guys who are here tonight helping us out. We have with us Julian and Jackson, as well as Larry, who's come in town. Mike Knopka's here with us, helping us tonight as well, figuring out and fine-tuning things. Thank you to our staff. I see Sue sitting right here, and both Ginny and Mark were in the hall, and we couldn't put things on without you for sure. Cantor, beautiful service tonight. Oh, bless you, bless you. And all of you, really, thank you for joining us, for schlepping out on this cold and snowy night. It really it warms our heart to be able to have you with us. I'd like to welcome, to help us with our blessings over wine and over bread, to conclude our service, our friends Amy Troy and Henry Gartner. The prayer for wine can be found on page 5 in our prayer books. We rise. Amen. Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ava u'ratzon hinchalta, zikaron le'maaseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila le'mikra kodesh. Zecher letziad Mitzrayim, Kivanu b'chata, Eltanu kidata, Mikol ha'amim, V'shabbat kodshecha, Ve'ahava u'ratzon, Hinchaltanu. Shabbat. Amen. L'chaim. Extra points for nailing the melody there.
That's the only way I could say it.
I know. What threw us off? You would have had it perfect for start too. We'll go ahead and uncover the challahs. You can lift it up, and we'll say our blessing over bread here. Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Yeah, I just wanted you to know you don't have to be perfect.
This is where we say,
Tear a
"Open your
piece and eat, though.
lunchbox."
There you go. Make sure you tear a piece and enjoy it, though. B'te'avon, bon appetit, friends. You may be seated as we have our closing song tonight. What's it going to be, Cantor?
343. Oh, sesh.
Page
Is that-
343, Praying for Peace. Another prayer. Well, that'll be the
That'll
first
be
of the
next
month,
month.
next week.
Shabbat Shirah.
Coming up.
Oh, say shalom bimromah. Huya aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei Kenan. Ve'iru. Amen. La 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 la. Oh, say shalom bimromah. Huya aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei Kenan. Ve'iru. Amen. One more time. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Oh, say shalom bimromah. Huya aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael. Ve'al kol yoshvei Kenan. Ve'iru. Amen. Ve'imru. Amen.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. That's great, Sarah. Thank you.
Oh, it's quits? No. No.
Wasn't it Squid's? Did it Squid's? I think so, maybe.
What about?
Yeah, because he grew up, so his
Yeah.
father, he was older balls, his father had a car.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely an Niagara Falls guy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember, these stories that I hear, just are so special about the area.
Yeah. So what'd you think?
I thought it sounded good.
Yeah, it sounded.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounded really. Sounded really good. Yeah.
I had this one little thing with rabbis in my
Little body to things, just
Yeah.
these guys are good.
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
Both good. I think
Great.
you can make this sound as good as that.
Yeah.
On the piano, I feel you're moving close. Remember, I always tell you about this.
I know. I couldn't hear myself too well there in the monitor.
You should make that adjustment next time before services. Don't eat the mic because it
But
gets woofy.
I couldn't. Yeah, no, I couldn't hear myself as well in the monitor.
So you're digging in.
Or yeah, I was kind of digging it.
Right.
So.
I'll turn it up in the mic.
Can you?
So remember, a mic's like a tone control.
I
When you
know.
move in, it gets dark.
Yeah.
When you turn to the side, it gets bright. It's
Yeah.
really its own tone control. So proximity is one of your tools.
Okay.
So especially after the sermon, if you're in really tight, all of a sudden it's like, where's all this woofy?
Yeah.
So just naturally.
Okay.
And if you're not happy with the monitor, then make that move. You
Okay.
might adjust the monitor.
Okay. I know.
But
The
I
other
know
thing.
you
That's
want
the other
the
thing.
mic.
You guys, I can't figure out. Oh yeah. Don't turn. If you wouldn't mind, don't turn off the. What is going on here? Don't turn off the sound. I guess.
For which microphone?
For in general, I guess just leave it on. But I had a question about this because I was trying to turn this on,
Okay.
and there was a I got on the TMP link, but then there was a thing it was asking for the Xair. I was asking for this. What is that?
IP. I'm guessing it wants
Yeah.
the IP address for the
That's the
internet.
router. So the router.
Oh, that over there?
Yeah, there's an IP address on it.
Oh, right on the side of it. Is it this router we use or no?
trying to do this fast.
Oh, it's okay. No Jackson, you rock so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Of course, no problem, no problem.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, this might need the IP typed in, so let me try that. Point. Oh, here we go.
Can you kind of paste it? Or probably not.
Unfortunately not.
Oh,
Okay,
point-
so we're
168.0.
192.
168.
168.
Point zero.
0.
Point 108. Sorry, no thing. I can't do it. But thank you. Do you want some
no.
challah?
Yeah, sure. Trying.
Oh, he looks dry.
Here we go. Okay. Network name is TP-Link. I wish we could just search it, right?
I know.
Okay. TP hyphen.
I'll be right back.
Sure.
You got it?
I thought you were over here looking for TP link.
Ok. Oui. Bah, c'est surtout parce qu'on sait. Ah. Je pense que je vais peut-être finir un peu plus tôt ce soir. Ouais. Je sais pas exactement parce que je veux dire, tout est prêt pour demain déjà.
Thank you. Thank you. This is amazing. Thank you, Carl. Thank you. Is there any more wine? Carol! Oh my God, Carol! 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 Be careful, Errol. I'm careful. This is awesome. Thank you.
think we're onto something.
Yeah? Talk to me.
So you're connected to the FD14. There is FD14 5G, which is the one I use. So I'm thinking of
Oh, that's probably.
Did Dan allow it?
working on it.
I got it.
Got it.
You got the password thing. No, I found that. I got that.
Okay.
Yay! Like, we did make recommendations to get rid of all these players are kits,
Yeah.
right? Like, if we did all like wireless stuff, then we'd be able to, and then air monitors. So that's what we want. Right? So that's what we're gonna ask for, and we'll have all the wires. But the other rooms are there. We're working on it. He's working on it.
Susie,
Yeah.
did he like the way your ear set sounds?
Yeah. much is good.
Yeah.
Good thing. There's this other iPad too. Nobody ever uses this other iPad?
No idea.
Why?
I like computer. It works better.
Yeah?
Yeah, because the computer app is actually stronger than the iPad app.
I know, but the thing is, I feel bad you guys bringing your own computer.
I love it. I have no issue. That's part of my job. For my career.
Well, maybe I'll just use this for the piano when it comes in. You guys aren't using it.
Yeah, I like using my computer. I've had no issues.
Yeah?
It's still not connected? That actually can be the app. What version, what iOS version is that on? Or it must be back there, where the big tablet is, the other tablet. Is the Samsung tablet back there? To see if the Samsung tablet will connect, because then we'll know if it's an Android or an iOS issue. Because there are reports of, you see a big tablet case?
Wait, hold on. I think you did it.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah.
It's just really like a sacred cow. You know, they don't, it's not to be messed with. It's just really. Yeah, it is. Big issue. Why have they been up this issue? Where is
So we also have the difference with the tablets. The biggest, one of the largest problems, you do realize with the stained glass, that stained glass is so sensitive. That's why when David Moser wanted to perform here,
yeah?
you could let him. Because with the line arrays and everything, we had to bring in generator trucks for them. We had to keep them in the auditorium. We were generator trucks in the atrium. He wanted to be in here. Stained glass.
Meaning it was.
Check.
No way! So you can shatter glass.
Oh, sure.
Who knew?
Oh, okay.
So it's an X-Air, right? He recommended that.
XR18, yes.
He recommended the Yamaha, which is much better.
Yeah, the DM7.
The Behringer XR18.
Oh, yeah. Well, down the road, I'd love to get a DM7 Yamaha.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my go-to board. It's $32,000.
Oh, but they're giving us some money. So it's templebethzion.
My cousin.
Yeah. Who's your cousin?
Randy's grandfather and my mother's grandmother were brother and sister.
Wow.
So that's not any luck?
Currently, no.
I don't know what the other thing is.
It's charged.
Oh, this is okay. Let's try these two.
We deleted the app. And I don't know what the password is.
No luck at all?
James' password's not working.
No luck at all yet? Now, why not, let's try a different app. Is Mixing Station on there?
Mixing station, you can get it on that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but remember, you can't download it unless you're on the internet. I'm gonna take this other as mine. And I'll see if I can, that's right, you deleted the app before we.
Turn my monitors up and down, I can't do it.
No, touch me.
And this, I don't remember, I'm so totally screwed this password James never told me. This password's totally screwed up now. This one has mixing station. Oh.
You still can't get it, correct?
Got it.
You got it?
I love you! Oh my god, it was
What
a
was it?
typo!
Typo?
Typo.
Will it stay on there now?
No, you're good. Watch it. Check, check. Hey, 1, 2, check, check. Oh my goodness. Is this on?
Yes.
The monitor's on?
Oh,
Check. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, that you would go to, for the piano, it's bus 4. Labeled on here. So I don't think it comes up. That's another, that's just a computer benefit as well. Yeah, but your bus 4, I mean, when you see it's right there.
Oh. Got it, okay.
That's like your master.
Gotcha.
And this is
But then-
how much you're sending to the piano right now, so.
So, okay, so you could turn it up.
Yeah, this is your stick here. Check, 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 check. Yup, 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 yup.
Yeah, we just need to put it up a little bit.
Yeah, we can put up it. Check, check, hey. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There we go, that's better. Thank you. Mailman.
I was just like, what's the one number?
That is awesome,
Okay.
Jackson.
Where's that?
Thank you, my friend.
And I have a snapshot.
yeah, because it should work, because I have it on my iPhone. I got it on my
Yeah,
iPhone
yeah,
too.
because Max and mine next, so we're good. Yeah, I just kind of went off of his for like the last like 20 minutes.
Okay.
Fixing it up. Sounds fabulous.
Yay! You guys rock. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh man, that was gonna frustrate me all night.
Well, that's why I just went and I got it on my phone. to
Yeah,
say-
there was a 9 where there should have been an 8. You know, sneaky. So I'll leave your handheld unmuted then for now, and I'll leave your solo mic unmuted, and leave your pack unmuted. So the only thing that should be a problem is grab it. I don't think it really comes into your practice.
No. Okay. You rock, you guys. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Now, who's on piano next week? Jerry?
Uh-huh.
Is there something big going on the 14th? I heard something about that. Or was it the 7th?
the 7th.
Yeah, it's not, is that in the holiday season?
No, that's the 12th.
The 12th?
The
It was
12th.
a Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay. So I
And
heard
that's-
the 12th, but I saw it was a Wednesday, and I was like, wait a second.
That's in the chapel. Now, in the chapel, I want to order some, what do you call it? Some lasagna, extra lasagna. Because in the chapel, there's no wireless connection.
Right, but you don't have any wireless equipment. That's the problem. There's no wireless in there.
There is a
We
way,
we moved the wireless into here.
but I
That's
think,
why.
I think he said there is a way I could order something to get on that frequency. You can get on
There's
that-
workarounds for everything.
No, yes, we have to buy new receivers.
Right, so I'm gonna buy, yeah, that's what I'm gonna buy now.
Okay.
Mark said just go ahead and,
Are you planning to do that by the 12th?
yeah. Well, I don't know about the 12, oh, I don't know,
Okay.
maybe.
Well, how many,
Two receivers for wireless packs.
so you want 2 more wireless packs in there?
Yeah,
Like what we brought in when
Yeah.
I did it, when I gave you a couple more. Because we got some of the older documents here. I have them.
are you sure?
Oh, I've got them. Let's see, on the 7th, I'm using 24 body packs on the 7th for the show. I've got, that's my full rack, the 2 racks. I've got enough, so there's 1 spare body pack. Yeah, we should be able to get the antennas, so we've got, those are G100 units, which are fine. You need them for the 12th, I'll bring them next week for you. So that'll get you 2 more wireless in there.